Welcome to chemistry. We're going to have a cool semester learning all sorts of different things about chemistry, but before we start, we need to sort of understand where chemistry falls into science as a whole. So chemistry is the study of matter, and you have already taken biology class, and biology is the study of life. But in biology, you learn that all life is made up of cells, and you learn all about the different parts of the cells. The cells are made up of four major macromolecules, which are nucleic acids, lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates. Those four things are large macromolecules. They're molecules, they're compounds, they're chemical compounds. And chemistry is what sort of defines the way that they are interacting with one another. So all biology is based on the principles or built on the principles of chemistry. Now, in chemistry, we study these molecules and the parts that make up them, and we learn about the atoms that make up the molecules and how those molecules sort of interact with one another, how the atoms interact with one another, are based on the principles of physics. Physics is the study of motion and physical interaction between things, and a lot of compounds and chemical reactions are based on electrical forces and nuclear forces, which is the study of physics. Physics is all based on the principles of math. So we use math in order to describe physics and the motion of things and the interactions of things in the physical world, using the quantitative science of mathematics. So in high school, we separate these into four different sort of branches, but they really are all intertwined with one another. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about some branches of chemistry. Chemistry is actually divided into five different branches. You have inorganic, you have organic, you have analytical, physical, and biochemistry. So I'm going to talk about each one of these individually. Inorganic chemistry is the study of things that don't contain carbon. So this is anything that's like non-living. So if you studied like the chemistry of geology of rocks or minerals, acids and bases, also studying like metals and things like that, that's all forms of organic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry. Organic chemistry then is the study of chemicals that contain carbon. And carbon is the basis for all life, so all living organisms are made up of carbon. So when you study organic chemistry, you're studying molecules that are made that are carbon based. So if you look at this you may have seen something like this in your biology textbook, and these are just examples of organic compounds, and we draw pictures of them. You learn all about their shape and how they behave and things like this in organic chemistry. And these rings that you see here are actually carbons hooked together. So the study of organic chemistry is anything that is carbon based. Analytical chemistry is a really fun science. This is being able to take some substance that you find and determining what is it made up of, what elements is it made up, what is its structure. So, for example, if a forensic chemist might get some mysterious substance or liquid that they find at a crime scene, and that person wants to determine what it is. So using equipment like a mass spectrometer, a gas chromatographer, an analytical chemist can actually take some substance that you find and can determine, what is its chemical makeup. Physical chemists sort of are bridging the gap between physics and chemistry. So what they are studying is what happens during a chemical reaction. Like I said, when things chemically react or combine, it's based on the principle of physics and electrical and nuclear forces. So a physical chemist is somebody who studies this sort of interaction. So they try to study the mechanism or how it actually happens, the rate, how quickly it happens, or what can affect how quickly it happens, and what is happening with the energy in the system as matter undergoes some sort of chemical or even physical change. Biochemistry then is the field that, on the other end of the spectrum, crosses over between or bridges the gap between biology and chemistry. So it's a chemist who studies the biological processes or processes that are happening on a molecular level in the cell. So this is somebody who would study like genetics specifically, or the mechanism of how DNA is replicated. This right here shows another example. You might recognize this. It starts with glucose and it ends with pyruvate, and you have a bunch of ATP. This is glycolysis. So a biochemist is somebody that would come in and they would actually study, what is happening at every step. What is sort of the mechanism of this type of biological process. Okay, so hopefully now you sort of understand a little bit more about the broader reach of chemistry and different fields of chemistry that exist.